In public speaking and storytelling, as in most endeavours in life, we become better at it the longer we are at it. This can sometimes lead to a disillusionment if we're not getting appropriate feedback in some way to show us that we are getting better. For example, if we are a carpenter, a cabinet maker, the better we get, the more sales we will make of our products. But in speaking, where do we get the signals that we're actually improving? If we're in a Toastmasters club, we get feedback, but often that feedback is done by people who are not as experienced as ourselves, or maybe even more experienced, but not very good at giving good constructive feedback. But if someone in the audience, a member of the public that doesn't know you, comes up after the meeting and tells you something that sticks in your mind, which confers upon you, you are getting to be pretty good, that stays with you. That's another step up. As they use the hackneyed phrase today, you've gone to the next level. Over the 50 years that I've been speaking to audiences, that's a long time, every now and again something like that happens, and certain things stick in your mind. You give a certain presentation, you feel really good about it, you know the audience is riveted, and there's the feedback. You don't need a verbal discourse to tell you. People come up to you and book you for future events. One event that stays in my mind is this. About 20 years ago, I was in the Australian Storytellers Guild, and we used to hold meetings, of course, and sometimes those meetings were held in public areas. And in one instance, we held an open air meeting in a park on the north side of the Parramatta River. And we each gave our presentations or our stories, and audiences would sort of gather around and listen, people who weren't members of the guild. I gave this presentation called A Portrait of the Sun. A Portrait of the Sun, S-O-N, Sun. And it was a story about World War I and about how the father viewed the world after his son was killed in action. When I finished that story, a man stepped out of the audience, a Chinese man I'd never met before, and he said, I listened to that story and it gave me goosebumps. That's all he said. And he walked away. And I thought, Tom, you've arrived as a storyteller. If a man can step out of the audience and tell you that you've given him such feelings with your story that he got goosebumps, you know you're a good storyteller. The point I'm making here is that right throughout our speaking careers, we will continue to get better. This doesn't mean that consistently every speech or every presentation gets better, but overall, a bit like the stock market, the line grows higher and higher to the right. We are getting better. There may be a few slumps when you don't feel so good, or the audience is unfavourable to what you've got to say, but generally speaking, if you're a speaker or a storyteller, keep at it. You will get better. You will grow and grow and grow. You'll love it. So too will your listeners.